Yeah, my name's Mike Woods. I'm from here in this area, from Johnson City, since I was 5 years old. I was born in Cincinnati. I have been hiking and backpacking and camping and hunting and fishing these mountains since I joined the Boy Scouts when I was 14. So 54 years of just stomping around these hills. And I wanted to find something else that I really would enjoy doing, and I became the recreation sports coordinator at the senior center. And it was a job I was born to do. It was everything I loved. I loved sports and I loved the outdoors, and worked there 11 years, just retired again this past year. I got to take them biking and hiking and whitewater rafting, and got a good table tennis program going. And 2006, the spring, I started it, and I was struggling. I couldn't. They told me I had to have at least 7 people on the hike to justify taking their van. And at first it was a novelty, so I didn't have any problem. I was having 10, 11 people show up, and I was feeling my way along because I wasn't sure how much people could do and what they could do and what they couldn't do. At that time, a lady named Helen Bowers had hiked with us once and had not gone on this hike with us because she was in the hospital and they didn't think she was going to live. She had a very serious illness, but she came back from that, and it kind of reinvigorated me when seeing, my gosh, she can do this, so I'm going to keep trying this.
No, I'd never been. I'd been living on the farm and working, and I'd never been hiking until Donna got me come out there that day. And I guess that's the reason I got so sore I couldn't move for 2 days. But then after I got used to it, well, I'd rather be out hiking than doing anything.
Well, I asked them all to come up with trail names, and Helen's was easy. We all knew it before she told us, because she cannot pass a mushroom, not one, without taking its picture. And a matter of fact, the ETSU over there, the botany, the people that are studying mushrooms wanted her pictures because she has photographed every mushroom in this part of the country.
No, we see turkeys and deer and squirrels once in a while, or chipmunks. And I was sitting up there one day in the mountain at our Mountain Gap, and they went on, and I sat down on a rock. I heard something, and all of a sudden I heard something making all this noise, and there's a chipmunk right out another rock I was sitting on. Scared me. I thought it was something big. But yeah, I've been looking for 11 years. I hadn't seen a bear yet. I'm still looking. Well, I want to get a picture of one. I don't want to touch it, but I want to get a picture of it. Everybody says when you see it, you're going to be scared to death. I said I probably will, but I always try to get my picture before I fall over.
And we ended up the year hiking about 12 to 14 hikes we had that year. In that first year, there were times when I had to kind of fib, Donna, don't kill me. I had to fib and say we had 7 people when we didn't. And I'd take the bus. But after that, we were generally in the 10 to 12 range, 13, 14 people. And it stayed that way for 2 to 3 years. And we'd have as many as 18 to 20 at the most. Or 2008, Karen Prokot joined the group.
Some of us have gotten some nicknames over time. We were out going up, I guess it was a Spivey Gap up to High Rocks one year, and we were hiking along, and this humongous hickory nut fell down and hit me right on the head, and it was so loud that even the people up the trail heard it, you know. And so I got to be called Nuthead for a while.
She was so helpful in finding us new places. She was an ex-teacher who cataloged everything, had every list for everything, and she helped me so much finding a lot of new places, because after a couple of years of places that I knew, I was running out of places to take them.
I've hit over 200 places in the national park system. Have traveled across the country several times. Clambered up Mount Washington out in Yellowstone, and to look at me now, you'd never think I'd be able to make it. I didn't think I was going to make it either when I did that.
Russ Rivers and I, and Harry Ford and I would go looking for places at first, new places to go. Harry was a member of the Old Timers hiking group, and he brought that experience and those hikes to us. And Russ was an ex-Navy man who had sailed all over the place and had done many amazing. He took Boy Scouts to Colorado and hiked all over the country, and he brought a lot to the group.
Mike knew a lot of spots to hike, and then a lot of them we tried. We just went to an area and hit it for the first time.
Oh yeah, that was why I dropped it.
We were up on one mountain one day, and the wind was blowing. Oh, it was cold, and the fog was so thick you could hardly see your fan in front of your face. And that was a great hike. Couldn't see anything, but it was great.
Snowing, then it started sleeting.
It did everything that day.
Yeah, it was the day we had every kind of weather there was. And I was determined that we would stay together. So Harry was my tail gunner always. He was in the back with the walkie-talkie. Nobody got behind Harry. Nobody got in front of me. And I could keep my flock together.
When I was doing the trail guard or bringing up the rear, I was privy to hear grocery lists, recipes, and just general gossip.
This is the 12th year, Mike.
And it didn't matter how fast we went or how slow the back group was, we always kept in touch, and that kept the group together. It kept people bonded. Well, in the last 3 to 4 years, we have been going up to the 30s and actually had 44 people on my first hike of 2015. All through these years, Harry and Helen and Russ and Jean were there. Jean, when I first met her, she was had been in an accident and she could hardly walk.
I love being on the Appalachian Trail more than anything.
And I didn't think she would be able to last and would last long with us. 11 years later and 1,000 miles, she's gone over 1,000 on the trail.
I've always enjoyed getting out in the woods. And when I was growing up, Sunday afternoon, that was our thing, was to get out and take a hike, walk, go somewhere.
Doing okay, Gene?
Okay.
Do you remember this from 11 years ago, starting out doing this?
Me?
Yeah.
Well, I've been doing this so long I can't remember nothing.
Helen's gone over 1,100 on the trail. Harry's gone over 800 or 900. Russ over 800 or 900. Karen gone over 1,000. They're still here, and thankfully so am I. But without them, I probably would not have kept going, because one person in the woods with 10 people is a lot. One person in the woods with 30, 40, I couldn't have done it. So they're the reason the group got so big, and the reason it's big right now.
That's not bad. Oh, he's taking a deal.
Some of the memorable times, I guess, is people falling in the creek, and it wasn't very funny at the time, but sometime when you think back about it, it was funny.
On our way back, he was again trying to help people, and he was hopping himself from one rock to another and missed and ended up right in the drink, just flat on his back. You know, I thank God he didn't get hurt. But we laughed. We couldn't even help to get him up because we were all laughing so hard, because he had been teasing everybody else about, doing that.
Mike trying to help many of us, the ladies especially, cross the creek, and they would, at one time he fell all the way in the creek, and of course everybody else thought it was funny. I'm sure Mike didn't think it was too funny.
Well, we went down to Horse Creek, and there was a trail there that you had to cross the creek 10 times. So naturally, when we went up, we had to cross it 10 times. And when we come back, we had to cross it another 10 times. So I done 19 of them, but the 20th, I landed on my stomach in the water. And Russ grabbed my camera so it wouldn't get wet, and I had to get out of the creek. I always said he's afraid his picture would get wet, so he grabbed the camera and left me in the creek.
Helen's always taken some good pictures.
So it was kind of cold. And I reached for a limb to try to step across it. When I did, I went down. My bottom was touching the water almost, and it was like mud. Well, between Karen and Russell and Helen, they saved my life without me getting in the mud. If I had, I don't know if they'd brought me back.
Me and him was walking at the back, and everybody been going up through there. Nobody mentioned a bee's nest. But we got up there, he took his foot, he kicked it with his foot. So all of a sudden, he says, I've got bees on me. He says, I think I've got one of my paints. So he dropped his paints, and when he did, the bee flew out. And I didn't have my camera.
Yeah, he had a heart cath 2 weeks prior, and he was worried about it. So I stuck with him, but he didn't.
Road that day, see there, in the grave? Yeah, that trail was about 30.
Let's see, is this? Yeah, we even had a lady turn around after we got myself into.
Remember Shirley?
Oh Lord, Shirley was our.
Mary Poppins of the woods.
She was.
Yeah.
You walk along and you get to discover one, you get to pick it up. This is the backbone of the whole bunch. Thousands of miles between us, and there's never a time when we see each other when we can't talk about something we've done together. So it's really important to me, and I think it's important to a lot of folks now. And we want to thank the Senior Center, and I want to thank these people for putting up with me.
That was hard.
It was. I've made a fool of myself, but we've had a lot of fun.
I like hiking, I sure do. It's more fun than anything I know of, since I don't ride roller coasters anymore.
You know, that's one thing about joining the hiking group. They're all really good people. You know, all of us have the same love of the outdoors. Of course, for me, it was kind of fun because having spent 39 years with children, it was kind of nice to be with adults for a while. However, I've learned that there's not a whole lot of difference between the adults and the children.
Well, since we're wrapping this up, I think we need to also thank the Senior Center because they allowed this to all happen 11 years ago. They allowed me to try this, and we've all gotten more than just physical exercise out of it. I mean, these are people now that I've known for 11 years and people that I never would have known.
I think I enjoy the exercise and socializing more than anything. I've met a lot of nice people.
I think a lot of us are still in have the health that we have, and not just us, the whole group, is because we do this. Because you have to kind of stay in shape to do it, so it motivates you to do other things so that you can get out and hike with your friends.
I believe activity helps with longevity. I firmly believe it. I'm 78 years old. And I go to the gym 4 days a week and hike 1 day a week, and I walk. I try to walk 4 miles every day. And I feel good.
If you had never been hiking, get out and try it. You don't know what you're missing if you're sitting home in your rocking chair. I've learned that it's more fun to be out, healthier for you if you're out like that than it is being at home and doing nothing. Get out and get exercise and enjoy it. Enjoy Mother Nature. It ain't going to be here forever.